Capilla Solemnis from us?
According to Thomas Aquinas, the 13th century Italian theologian, the purpose of life itself, baked into the very moral fabric of the universe, is the pursuit of excellence, the pursuit of that which is good, the summum bonum, the ultimate good, the unity with that. The ultimate negative that comes from doom scrolling is to become a doomer.
The doomer is an individual who is typically in their 20s and male, although a doomer in the philosophical sense does not need to be either.
I make comment response videos 3 days after the publishing of each of these videos. Hit the comments below.
He or she does, however, need to be someone who feels a sense of aimlessness and loneliness, and is consequently stricken with a deep despair for life. For the doomer, life is meaningless, and the world is inevitably doomed by humanity's ignorance, greed, and futility. As a result, the doomer sees little to no reason in engaging in traditional pursuits, and thus retreats from society into apathetic isolation.
And don't come at me with that bullshit about how I'm a boomer. I'm Gen X, motherfucker. Overtly possessed by a profound spirit of negativity, for lack of a better word, a kind of nihilism that suffuses your soul, because it is literally an infinite stream. It's an infinite depiction of our universe as essentially an inherently negative, violent, dispossessed, decentered, corrupt at its core. And so what it does is it breeds, and so in some ways what it does is it creates in one the lack of capacity to strive for that which is good, to strive for the summum bonum, the ultimate good, to be unified with that. It's imprudent, and its effects on mental health.
TikTok and like YouTube Shorts and stuff like that. Those are like, it's kind of feeding my initial want for that, but then like it's giving you like garbage, right? Is that right? What you're
right, and also a malformed version of the universe. It inhibits our virtue, right? So like in some ways, it's like it's a kind of form almost of marijuana in some ways, and like how some forms of marijuana give you couch lock. So doom scrolling is a kind of media version of that. Let's take a look at very specifically how some aspects of doom scrolling are set up in opposition to Thomist philosophy, the philosophy of Thomas Aquinas, and what we can learn from that. So in a lot of ways, if we come back here, we can see that doom scrolling is set up in opposition to basic human nature, according to St. Thomas Aquinas, the common good, prudence, and effects on mental health. But effectively, what we have is a misplaced quest for knowledge. Curiositas, which is a disordered desire for knowledge. Doom scrolling, in a lot of ways, is an inaccurate portrayal of our underlying reality. It is inherently social media, which is basically doom scrolling, is a form of humanity that is inherently violent, inherently decentered, and inherently acrimonious. So what it's providing to us, a picture of human nature that is taking us away from those things which are good. It is also set up in opposition to the common good. All we need to do is log on to Twitter to find out that Twitter is a hate machine, it is a rage machine. It leads doom scrolling, the couch lock that is inherent in doom scrolling. Also, it establishes a kind of self-absorption leading to community disengagement. It promotes anxiety and fear, and it's imprudent. It's a mismanagement of time and attention. So what is prudence? Prudence is a violation of the cardinal virtue of the ability to choose correctly in all situations. And as we know, it is also, doom scrolling also has pronounced negative effects on mental health. And so effectively what we're dealing with in a lot of ways is that social media establishes a kind of condition whereby we have an inaccurate portrayal, an inaccurate and hyperbolic portrayal of the decentered, anti-human, violent, and disassociative nature of our reality. It takes us away from the pursuit of that which is good and that which is excellent, which is, the focus of this channel is always on how our artwork and how our design work can be a powerful metaphysical tool and a tool for chasing away nihilism and meaninglessness. So one of the videos that I made relatively recently is a video entitled "How to Get Off Your Mom's Couch," and we can see a little bit of it here, right? But really, if we take a look at this diagram, the fundamental premise of the video, I think, aligns fairly clearly. I think it aligns fairly clearly with Thomist philosophy. And what is that? It is this idea that we see here, and I'll link to it above, but that contrary to the messages that we find in contemporary culture, the formula, the way out of a doomer philosophy is fairly simple. It's that responsibility, both to others, to our community, to the people that we love, and even to things like problem solving and, God forbid, jobs, but responsibility equals power and power equals freedom. So, I mentioned when speaking to Henry in the video previously that it's my belief that a lot of psychotropic drugs like pot, they can have a pronounced effect, not on everyone, mind you, and not in all instances, but can have a kind of couch lock effect on you. It's my belief that in the meteorological sphere or in the media sphere that doom scrolling also has a kind of couch lock capacity that, again, takes us away from those things that are productive, those things that are excellent, and those things that lead towards a meaningful existence. So, yeah, I think that it's fairly clear that that doom scrolling and that the fundamental nature of social media as a whole is something that really it does not serve the designer or the artist very well and very effectively.